Hi everyone and welcome. Today's tutorial is going to be on showing you how to make your stitching straighter and tackling curves. These are exercises that are so easy to do and you actually do it on paper. And then a bit later on I'll make a training loop where you'll be doing it on fabric. And it's just teaching you to sew straight lines and actually teaching you how to stop your machine at a certain point. When I started sewing, and it's actually the first sewing factory would be at Woodbasters, and that was Faircroft in Rotherham, and that was actually 40 years ago. And I started straight from school at the age of 16, and for 3 weeks solid all we did were these training exercises on paper. 3 weeks sewing paper, and when I went to bed at night, well, guess what I was dreaming about? Yep, sewing paper. So it was a relief when we actually got on to doing proper garments. But they made clothes for Marks and Spencer, and in particular women's underwear, bras, pants. So you did have to know your curves, and because Marks and Spencer were very keen and their quality had to be there. And when you finish your training time and you came out of the training school, every single person could sew straight as a die and had no problems with sewing bust cups. So let me show you what you need to do. So first of all, what I've done is, this is just your paper that you print on. And basically, you can see I've just drawn lines and then I've put them a little box at the bottom. So your aim is to start at the beginning of the line, you stitch down, and your aim, your goal is to stop anywhere in that box. Not to run off it, not to stop before, to stop in the box. And then literally you work your way across the sheet. So that's the straight one. You can do literally as many sheets as you like. You're not using any thread in your cotton. It's unthreaded at this point. There's none on top, there's none underneath. The next one, this one, it's got a slight curvature to it. You can see, literally, you're just starting to learn to do your curve. I haven't put any boxes on that, so literally it's just a case of stopping before the end of your sheet. And then the next one, this is a curve. You can see it's like a half moon if you like, and then there's 3 lines on each side. Again, you start at the beginning, and your aim is to keep on the line and then stop before, so you're not running off the paper. And then the other one, you'll have to ignore the little here, because that was my finger getting in the way. Because I actually tried doing this with my bendable tape measure. Didn't really work out brilliant. So when you're doing things like these, it's a case of seeing in your house what you've got shape wise that can do something similar, like excuse me, a pan lid. So if you put your pan lid on, draw around it and then move it down, draw around it again, move it down again, draw around it again. That's just one. You could use a plate, a bowl, anything that's round or half moon shape to give you your curvature. Right, so what I'm going to show you now then is what your aim is to do on these. Right, so I'm going to put my foot on the first line, and right at the top where I said, right at the top on the first one, I'm going to put my needle down. So that's in the paper, ready to sew. I'm going to hold the paper and literally I'm going to run down that. Just keep running down it, and your aim again is to keep that line. You're sewing on that line, you're going to stop at the end, needle up, take it out, put it back down in your next one. Needle down, stitch right down on the line. That's your aim, to stitch on the line. Stopping in the box, taking it out. Now that one there, you can see where I've stopped in the box at the end. And if you put it up to the light, I don't know if you can see with that, you can actually see your lines. There you go, you can see your lines and know how you are on your drawn lines. So I'm going to get one of these, the half moon ones now. So again, you're going to put the paper under the foot just behind your needle. Then you're going to put your needle down into the drawn line. And then what we're going to do then, literally, you're doing the same process where you're guiding the piece of paper right to the end, and you're going to stop before you get off the paper. Okay, let's do just one more of those. Down. Always put your needle down into your, if you're sewing obviously your fabric, but with this, always put your needle down by turning it towards you. So again, I'm going to stop before I run off the end, and then there you've got your lines again. So what I'm going to do now then is the half moon ones, and these again, with these exercises, they are so easy to do, but you will get better and better at doing them. I'm just in the process of teaching my youngest daughter, Katie, to sew. And I did some of these for her the first time she went on the machine, and she spent about half an hour on them before she actually started sewing basically straight away. But it gave her a bit of insight. But again, and you're going to stop before you're going to run off it. Go to my third line. Needle down, it's not quite under my foot, so I'm going to put that up, put it just behind, put the line in there, needle down, and then I'm going again. Just guiding the paper round. And then taking it just before it finishes there. And then there, you can see what your goal is, okay? And then I would do the opposite side. And then we're going to go to you want to try and make this like a shape of an S, but it's finding something in your house that you're going to get that shape from. I got this, no, it was that other one. If you've got a bigger one of these, this could be a good thing to use, but not everybody's got one of these, have they? So, same thing, just behind my needle down, and then we're going to go set about, literally, following the pen line, pivoting the paper to the lines, and just following it round. I'm going to stop again before it comes off the end. I'm going to take it straight back to the beginning, foot down, needle down, and I'm going to start again. As I said, this is so easy to do. It's not costing you any money. It's just paper. Now, fair enough, you do have to buy the paper, but you're not wasting fabric. This is just teaching exercises to make you more confident with your sewing. Off the end. Let's do the next one. Down we go, and off we go. Right, so I've actually done 4 of those, okay? But it obviously, if you're trying to get them about 1 centimetre apart, the lines, but as I said, these will improve your sewing skills. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how to make a training loop, which we're going to need thread in your machine to do this. So, turn the machine off because I'm going to thread it up. Right, so let me just get this on, put my glasses on. Let's put that up. Get this threaded up. Turning your wheel towards you to fetch your thread up. Okay, there we go. And then just use your scissors to pull your thread up from the bottom. A minute. And then we're going to put your thread to the back of the foot. Right, okay, so what's a sewing loop? A training loop, should I say? A training loop is just some scrap fabric. Now what I've done here is I've cut 2 long pieces. This is just scrap curtain lining that I believe it was my sister. She didn't like the lining that was in the curtains and you wanted blackout putting in, so she asked me to change them. So this is basically from the fabric that I cut out of there. And what I've done on it, 2 pieces here, I've done basically the same as what's on the paper. So I've done different lengths so you can have a good run, and then it'll stop. I'm doing that wrong way. Stop, and you'll stop in the box. Your aim is to stop in the box. You're not going to run over it, you're going to not stop before it, you're going to stop in the box, right? And then we're going to join these 2 pieces together first of all. So let me just see if that's the same. No, it needs to be this one. Wait a minute. I want it so that it's flowing on, so that needs to be that way, doesn't it? Yeah, so we're going to join these 2 pieces. So I'm going to join these 2 at both ends, which is where the loop comes in. It helps if I turn it on. So always put your needle down before you start off, and I'm going to set off, do a little back tack, stitch to the end, back tack there, and then I'm going to get these 2 together, making sure that I'm not twisting any of the pieces, because we want it to be a nice neat loop. And then I'm just going to put these 2 ends together and stitch them again. Needle down, back tack, back tack, foot up, pull it to the back, cut, cut, and then let me just cut this excess cotton off there. Right, so here we've got then a continuous loop. Now this you can make if you want to put 3 pieces in it, 4 pieces in it, 1 piece in it. Get these 2 together, making sure that I'm not twisting any of the pieces, because we want it to be a nice neat loop. And then I'm just going to put these 2 ends together and stitch them again. Needle down, back tack, back tack, foot up, pull it to the back, cut, cut, and then let me just cut this excess cotton off there. Right, so here we've got then a continuous loop. Now this you can make if you want to put 3 pieces in it, 4 pieces in it, 1 piece in it, it's entirely up to you. But this is your training loop, where you're going to be, again, I'm going to start on the first one, under my machine, cottons to the back of the thread, foot down, and I'm going to put my needle in the fabric. I'm not going to bother back tacking because this is just a training exercise. So literally I'm going to stitch down the first line and stop in the box. Now when I get in the box, you know what, I'm not even going to back tack in the box, there's no need. So I'm just going to run down that, stop in the box. So here I go. So I'm just following that line. Stop in the box, okay? Lift your foot up, and then you've got a little break in between your next line. So you're going to move it forward to your next line. You're going to put your foot down, put your needle in the start of the next line. So we're going to run down this one, and we're going to stop in the box. You guessed it. So here we go. This is a longer one, but again, I'm just concentrating on getting that line straight. Your box is coming up. I'm stopping in the box. Taking it up, get my loop nice, straight and flat, and then I'm going to move on to the next line. Eagle down. So I'm going to get my fabric here, and then away I go. So again, concentrate on keeping your line running straight in front of your needle, just guiding your fabric through. Stopping in my box, and then I'd carry on at my next one. So let me just take this out, so that, pulling to the back, cutting it off, turning my machine off. So, as you can see there, it stopped in the box. So you're stitching down your line, that there, where is it? There's a line there, but if I cut that thread, because you can't see from that, cutting that thread, you can see that it stopped in the box. And then again in that one, that the cotton, if I move the cotton there, you can see it's in the box. So that's your exercise for keeping a straight line, and it's so easy to do. Just a scrap piece of fabric. I've cut this to about 7 inch wide, and then it was it's quite long, isn't it, that? So let's have a look. That's probably 1.5 meters is the length of one strip. So I've done that on 2 pieces, but as I said, you can make that as wide, because you can make it wider than 7 inch if you wanted to, but that's just more manageable. And it's just that easy to do. So if you start on paper first, with no thread in your machine, because you don't need it, it's going to do no damage to your machine. And then once you've done that, make yourself a training loop, put your thread on, do exactly the same, but you're going round and round in a loop. And then when I'd finished all of these, I'd move on to the next one, round again, etc, 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 until you finished it. And I will say to you, your confidence will come in leaps and bounds because of doing training exercises like these. So I hope you found this useful, and it comes in handy for you. I think my next video is going to be possibly making a bed runner for my bed, because I've got a new bed coming tomorrow. I've actually got my new quilt airing on the dining room chairs there, so I'm going to be doing that Thursday, I think, but I need the bed in to take the measurements. And then I'm going to do one on showing you how to maintain a machine like this, oiling it and looking after it, because when we worked in factories, the number one thing that was drilled into you, that every Friday, 15 minutes before you finished, you had to clean your machine down and oil it. And if you didn't do it, you were in for a rollicking, because the mechanics always said, if you look after your machine's going to look after you. And it's true, that. It's true. So I'm going to show you how to maintain your machine, and yeah, do that. So just want to mention also that the last video I did, which was on my evening facial routine, Debbie Gallagher won the giveaway. So bye for now, and hopefully see you soon.